You know the job market is bad when fast food joints and rare warehouse jobs are not hiring. That's literally insane if you think about it.
About a year ago, I posted a video saying I don't know if I'm ever going to find a job again because I had been looking for so long and no one had given me anything. This is what has happened since I posted that video. 2 months after I posted that video, I got a job offer. 20 hours a week, $16 an hour. 5 months after I started that job, the entire company shut down. 2 months after that company shuts down, I get another job. I'm a dog walker. The most they can give me is about $300 of work per week. So, I get another job. I am a petition circulator. I work 40 hours a week, $19 an hour. I'm great at it. This is amazing. I'm finally making a decent amount of money, and the Florida government passes a law that all but bans petition circulating. So now I am back to dog walking, which again pays about $300 a week. I have a bachelor's degree. I have 4 years of experience in mental health, 10 years of experience in childcare. I have experience in higher education, aquatics, food service. When I was in high school, I tutored refugees in English, and I speak French. And I do not believe that there is any job that I am above. I'm telling you, I got rejected by Taco Bell and Sam's Club. Where are my bootstraps? Because I would love to pull myself up by them.
I have a friend who was recently laid off, and she has been looking for work probably for the past 2 months. And the other day we were talking, and she said she had filled out almost 200 applications. 200 applications. So when he said that the job market is insane because they're not hiring for fast food, they're not hiring for warehouse jobs, they're not hiring for UPS and FedEx, there's been so many layoffs, I can understand. So I want to share a few videos, not only videos of people who understand or are going through similar situations, but I also want to provide a few videos towards the end on how you can try to find work in this climate. So take a look at these videos.
The job market right now is so trash that you might as well just stay at that job that you hate until you get like another job locked in. So up until last week, I was unemployed for about 2 months, and the first month I pretty much just chilled, treated it like a vacation. But by the second month, that's when I started applying to places, and I applied to about 10-15 different places, and out of those 15 places I heard back from maybe only 1 or 2 places. The rest I didn't get no call, no emails, nothing. And when I had a job, I would see people come on here all the time talking about the job market, that it sucks, and I really thought they were just talking. I didn't think it was true until I actually was unemployed and was looking for jobs, that it hit me. It was like, damn bro, they really ain't lying. The job market really sucks right now.
I am currently headed to about my around 10th interview for the past 6 months. If I don't get this one, I really didn't even want to go to this one. I'm tired of it. It's exhausting going to interview every week and not getting a call back from any of them. And I'm applying for jobs that are really not paying anything at all. But, you know, I need the experience, I guess. I feel like class of 2020 really got screwed out of a lot. I didn't get a prom. I barely got a graduation. Went to school. Can't find a job. Like, every year, it's been something. Wish me good luck. And once again, if you know any jobs in your city or your state, I am willing to move. I have a decent amount of experience, and I have a master's degree. So, yeah, here we go.
I recently did a video, and it was titled, I'm going to post it here, Can't Afford to Live. And the reason I said that is because a lot of people are having a hard time affording rent, affording mortgages, affording, a lot of things, groceries. But now a lot of the comments that I'm reading is, oh, you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or you need to get multiple jobs. And right now, it seems like it's hard for a lot of people to find work.
Bro, I can't be the only one to think it's impossible to get a job right now. Like, I don't know how it was back then, but it's impossible to get a job right now. Like, you would apply on Indeed, people be like, it's easy to find a job. It's easy to find a job. You try. Quit your job and see if you can find another job, because you can't. Like, bro, the comp on Indeed is terrifying, bro. You apply for a bagger at like some random gas station, bro. You be having 10,000 different applicants, bro. They're picking you through you're like a needle in a haystack, bro. You're not getting picked, bro. I promise you're not getting picked. And people at jobs like Walmart, bro, I be calling up Walmart. I be like, y'all hiring? They be like, nah, bro. Call next year. I'm looking at the site right now. I know y'all hiring, bro. Why are you gatekeeping me, bro? Like let me get money too, bro. Like y'all not letting nobody in there? I see you are.
Now we know how powerful data is, data. We know how algorithms work. We know how, I would say, how data is data is very valuable. So while everyone is looking for jobs and filling out applications and trying to, just get their foot in the door, you always have to fill out an application, right? Well, look at this video.
There's this really crazy theory going on right now because Indeed and all these job search websites have thousands of jobs that say they're hiring, but everyone that's applying is not getting hired. And some guy actually did a test where they had hundreds of people fill out applications and no one hired them or got a call back. And so the running theory is that they're using all people's data and selling it to bigger companies. So when you send all your information in, like your first name, your last name, where you're located, your resume, where you've been, they're taking that information and selling it to bigger companies and holding on to it because right now data is the new gold. And that's kind of scary. What do you think?
That is scary to think. But by now, I think all of our data is just out there. It's out there. Unless you do a lot of opting out and you're checking and, deleting your information from all these different websites. Because every time we go online, cookies are made and data is tracked. We got to make sure that we are opting out. If we find out that third parties are buying our information, you got to make sure that it's stopped. And I don't know what else to do at this point, but she does make a good point. What do you think about it?
Well, it's official. The job market in 2025 is officially frozen. I've been talking about this for the last couple of years because I've been talking to hundreds and thousands of job seekers that have been struggling on the job market in 2025. But now mainstream media is starting to report exactly what I've been saying. Now, according to this article in The Atlantic, hiring levels are actually lower than they've been since around 2010, right off the back of the Great Recession. The reason for this, in 2022, when the interest rates started to go up, a lot of companies started fearing a recession. And when companies fear a recession, they stop hiring and they start having a survival mindset, which means cutting costs, which means more layoffs. And that's exactly what we saw. It can be deceiving because we have a low unemployment rate, but that number doesn't keep or account for people who have just given up looking for a new job. Like the job market's so hard, they've just said, you know what, I'm done with this. According to the article, the only two sectors that have been hiring over the past few years have been healthcare and government jobs. And we all know what's going on with government jobs right now. The irony is with those government jobs, they usually have been using that to keep interest rates lower to curb inflation. And healthcare, a lot of people exited healthcare in 2020 because the environments were extremely stressful. And there's been a shortage of healthcare workers for a long time. But now people aren't quitting jobs and companies aren't hiring. And that means the job market is officially frozen.
So many people are frustrated on not having a job, not being able to find a job, trying to do all the right things to get a job and not able to get one. Watch this.
I've applied, I think, for every job on earth. I've sent a million messages, followed up, begged, nothing. You just got to be persistent. Employers love when you check in every day. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah? You think Walmart's sitting there going, oh my God, this guy emailed us 47 times about stocking shelves. We should promote him to CEO. During 15 years of experience and a NASA certification.
Now let's get into some solutions, some tips here on how to possibly find a job in this current climate. Here we go.
I'm gonna tell you right now, people can't find no work. They can't find no job because they're giving all the jobs to people that they already built relationships with. Majority of hiring managers are hiring people that they either one, know, two, have built a relationship with, three, somebody has sent a referral on their behalf that they trust or they've made some type of connection. A lot of these applications that are being picked over the ones that are not being picked is primarily, one, because your application and resume, it looks poor probably, or two, because they already had a candidate in mind when they posted the job application or the job opening, but legally they have to post the opening anyway. So they already gonna pick who they gonna pick. You see what I'm saying? Why does this matter to you? Well, it will behoove you to start going out to build relationships with people who are aligned with the position that you want, especially for you people who want like a top level position. Go find out who is in charge. Go build a connection.
Because connections will get you in doors that your experience can't. You know, this saying, it's not about how much you know or what you know, it's more about who you know. Yeah, that's still true.
She brings up a good point, making those connections, making that network. You know, back in the day, they used to say, you have your Rolodex. Now you have a digital Rolodex, a network. You can use LinkedIn. You can just have it in your contacts, all the people that you've met, all the people that you know that, you know, are in positions of, I won't say power, but in positions of, I would say influence. So someone who can influence somebody else to possibly see you, possibly interview with you, or even speak to you briefly. Those are the people that you want to network with. Other types of recruiters, headhunters, you know, people in different positions where they can help you get a job, or they know somebody who they can help, you know, persuade to even see you or have an interview with you.
It is very hard to get a job right now, and as somebody who's been in recruiting for 6 years, I'm going to tell you guys what has changed, what's going on, give you all the tea, because it's hard, and maybe this can get you a job. I was laid off 3 times last year. It took me 7 months to find a job. I was not the only person in recruiting or HR that was laid off. If you have a company that has 300 jobs listed, right, you might only have 5 recruiters for all 300 of those roles. It used to be like 12, 15 recruiters to one company, one department in a company, so it takes a long time to go through resumes. Every single job I have ever worked at, we have looked through every single resume. I have never used AI, and I've never used an automated system. So if you have 300 roles posted, you have 2,000 people applying to each role. How long do you think that takes? Of those thousands of people that apply, maybe more than half of them apply to roles that they're not qualified for. It used to be 6 years ago, you could apply for roles you weren't qualified for and you might get hired. It happened to me. But now companies are not willing to spend the money or the time to train people, and it really sucks. Number 2, you do not need to pay somebody to do your resume for you. You can download Star Resume or go to starresume.com. It's like a free app, or you can do it on your computer. Use that resume template. I have used it for years. It's very simple because recruiters only spend about 30 seconds looking at somebody's resume. Number 3, I cannot stress enough how a temp agency can help you get a job. The amount of roles that are converted from temp to permanent in these companies is insane. And not only temp roles, but sometimes we outsource to these agencies and say, hey, we don't have a candidate that's great. Do you guys have anybody? And they're like, yeah. And then that person gets hired on. Look at companies like Randstad, Robert Half. There are so many more. Indeed, ZipRecruiter, let them go. Last thing, to be very honest, I am making less than I have ever made in a recruiting position, ever, because the job market is ass. Companies don't want to spend money. It is what it is. I still have to do my little things on the side to make money. It sucks, but it is what it is. And I wish things would change. I hope they change, but it's really bad right now. And hopefully these things can help somebody get a job.
And I remember when I graduated, I did apply for a temporary job that actually happened to turn into a permanent situation. So it is possible. And that is a good solution right now. If you can find a contract job, a job where a company is looking to complete a project that needs to be done within a certain amount of time, that gets your foot in the door. So look out for those temporary companies, those temporary staffing companies. There's so many out there. Like they mentioned, Randstad, Placers. I don't know if Placers is still out there. Am I dating myself? Placers used to be one. Robert Half. There's so many out there, especially in different locations. I don't know the names of all of them, but just look up the temporary staffing locations or contract jobs in your area.
The job search is so crazy right now, so I got y'all. Make sure you watch the whole video. Everybody been wondering how they get a new job, how they get a different job or whatever. I got y'all. Go to a staffing agency. Type in your search bar, staffing agency, and find one near you and apply to the jobs that they have listed. Their job is literally to get you a job. If they don't get you a job, they don't get paid. All the people that work in the jobs, they get paid whether they hire people or not. Staffing agencies literally have an incentive to help you out. I went to a staffing agency. It only took me 1 week to get a job.
I've been screaming, crying, shouting from the rooftops, trying to tell people how to find jobs in this economy. So I'm going to do it one more time. There have been a ton of headlines and articles saying the stock market's going to crash. We're in a recession. Kind of felt like we've been in a recession anyway, because there are a lot of people who don't have jobs. I feel like the unemployment rate is extremely underreported. But nonetheless, I'm going to give you the solution. And the solution is working contract jobs or working anything that's project based. When companies are strapped for cash, they generally tend to hire contractors to work on specific projects that will funnel more cash into the organization. I am currently an independent consultant, contractor, whatever you want to call it. Regardless, the past year and a half for me have been extremely stable when it comes to work opportunities. Every single day, I'm contacted by recruiters asking me to take on more contracts. What's great about being a contractor is if you don't want to work for all 365 days of the year, you can get a contract that's 6 months that pays you what your full salary would be for that whole 6 months, and then just not work for the other 6 months. And then you just save the money and ration out your salary or whatever. Being a project-based employee, being an independent consultant, a contractor, it gives you a lot of freedom. And I feel like corporate America generally likes to push people away from the contractor life, but there's very little cons, at least for me. I know there's going to be some people in the comments saying there's a lot of cons, but irregardless, if you were looking for a job right now, you need to be focused on looking for contract work. And I'm going to tell you how I find my contracts. The majority of my contracts come from my network, referrals, or LinkedIn. I go to LinkedIn and I turn on the open to work feature. I'll put all the job titles I'm interested in, location types only remote, and those locations of where the companies can be, even though it's a remote job. I generally choose the places that are concentrated with biotech and pharma companies. Start date immediately, employment types, contracts. Keep this on my profile for a couple weeks and then delete it every so often, just so I get a variation of opportunities and I continue to come up at the top of recruiters' search lists. Now, when I do that, I get messages like this every single day. Look at that. Pharmaceutical company looking for a director of regulatory affairs. They are open to a contract to hire situation. That's the other thing. There's so many different types of contracts. You can do a long-term contract. So maybe it's 3 years, short-term contract. Maybe it's 6 months, contract to hire. They start you at 6 months, see how you work with the team, see if they feel the role is still necessary, and then they offer you a full-time role. There's so many opportunities in being a contractor. I promise you, if you just open your mind to see the possibilities with contract work, you won't be stressed looking for a job anymore in this economy.
So like they all said, a good solution is finding temporary jobs, finding contract jobs, jobs that have a project that they need to complete to get you in the door of a lot of these companies. Not saying that a lot of the temporary jobs will turn into permanent, but at least at the time you have something and you can leave your mark there and show them that you are, an employee that they could possibly hire in a permanent situation if that does become available. So not only do you want to just keep in contact with your peers or coworkers that you used to have, but you want to keep in contact with your managers because, of course, they have direct contact with, other people in HR. You want to make sure that you keep your bridges unburned. You don't want to burn any bridges when you're leaving jobs. You want to keep it open where you can have that relationship with people that you can come in contact with at a later date if you need them. So if you are struggling to find work, I hope you found that this video is helpful in a way. Not only helpful with the solutions and tips that were added at the end, but also helpful to know that you are not alone, that this isn't only happening to you. This is happening to a lot of people. So just know that there's a community out there and there's also people out there who want to help. All right. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Take care. Subscribe if you like, and I will see you on the next video.